Talo falava, whakalofalahi atu, Nissan Bulavinaka, talo hani, halo laketa, Iorana, Modi, Namaste, Tihei Modi ora. How you going? You're looking pretty well, yeah, you feeling happy, feeling warm. Good, yeah, nice. So as has been said, my name is Josiah, I'm 22, I study politics and history at the University of Canterbury. Who goes to UC? Yep, nice, best university in New Zealand, eh? I've got 4 brothers, Benjamin, Isaac, Elijah, and Samuel. Oops. Oh, they've disappeared. Oh well, you would have seen them just before. And my parents, Shireen and Musa, we've lived in Christchurch for most of my life, but before then I lived in Dunedin. One other thing you need to know about me, I'm a collector. I collect lots of things. So I collect stamps, coins, and superhero figurines, which you never get too old for toys. I have to tell myself that. Look, what I want to talk to you about today is disconnection and belongingness. And talk about it through my family story and also some of the experiences that I've had. So my dad moved from Samoa to New Zealand when he was 17. Before he came here, my grandma was quite keen to make him have the best experience he possibly could have. So she did what everybody did, not really. She changed Dad's name. So she changed his name from Josiah Tualamali'i to James Brown. Yeah, so she obviously didn't know that, James Brown's pretty famous. Definitely not gonna be able to hide away with a name like that. And if anything, it actually made Dad feel less able to engage, feel like less of himself because, he had to be someone else that he wasn't. In her mind, to fit in here in Aotearoa. Unfortunately, that was really true. My mum was born in Australia. She grew up here in New Zealand, and my parents met in the early 20s, and then here I am. I was born. So when I grew up, I had 4 parents. So I had my grandparents, my man and granddad, and my mum and dad. And I basically lived in a Palangi world, Pākehā world, a European world, to the point where I couldn't see the benefit in being Samoan. I didn't understand what it was to be Samoan. The only thing I knew about myself was that I had a Samoan last name, and that was, that was it. And I guess I didn't feel like I could own who I was. Part of it was the relationship with my dad, which was really tough. A number of things happened which meant there was a lot of hurt there, and when I looked at my dad, I saw a culture that I didn't understand, I didn't feel included me, and I didn't want to be part of because of our relationship. There were also people who made me feel like I should be embarrassed to be about being Samoan, and to the point where I actually took on this as being something which I don't know, I wanted to belong, so I wanted to belong to a group which was dominant and which was comfortable, and so I started to say things like, I dislike Pacific peoples, I dislike Samoans, as a 10-year-old, because I wanted to fit in, and that worked, the people around me, it seemed to resonate with. But it didn't. Who here has ever felt like maybe you don't belong somewhere, or you feel disconnected, or... Yeah, just take a look around. That's quite a lot of hands, one thing I know now, which I wish I knew then, is Pacific young people, and all the research around the world, one of the biggest issues is belongingness. It's feeling like, for my dad who moved here from Samoa when he was young, like New Zealand could accept him for who he was, or when you move from anywhere really, at any age to New Zealand, feeling like you're valuable as you are. The other thing for like me, growing up here, not feeling like my identity was valuable, it's an experience of many Afakasi young people like myself, living in 2 worlds, not feeling connected to either of them. When I was also around 10, something that really made me sad was when, I'd tell people I was Samoan, and they would ask me, when are you going home? Do you miss home? And I'm kind of like, I was born here. My home's here. And I felt like, oh gosh, I'm even more disconnected than I realized from what's going on around me. It's not all doom and gloom. Something changed. My mum encouraged me to participate in a Pacific Youth Parliament that happened in Christchurch in 2010. That was the absolute game changer for me. I found a group of Pacific young people who cared about the things I cared about, who could actually tell me and actually help teach me that my identity journey was continuing. It wasn't fixed, and that I've learned so much from then. You never would have seen me in an iwhakanga and an aloha any time before then. They helped me understand what it means to live with Pacific values, what even are Pacific values. And it's changed my life to the point where I don't want to see any other Pacific young person. I don't want to see any young person in Aotearoa feel disconnected or like their identity. What you bring is not valuable. So my friends and I set up this charity. You'd have seen as the slides were flicking through some photos from the time that we've had together. It wasn't easy. Over the last 7 years, Christchurch has been in probably one of the most difficult places we've ever been in. It's been a city of disconnection. After the earthquakes, the building that we worked in, our homes, our community was just further separated, just by a bit of shaking of the ground. And it was so hard. So what do? We just kept meeting. We're just going to keep meeting until something happens. And in the end, we'll just host a space where we can talk about issues that matter to us, that matter to other Pacific young people, and that we'll share those to decision makers. And we created I Speak, which has become the only consistent way Pacific young people are speaking into the decisions that ministers and other leaders are making every day. We also decided we had a dream that we wanted to run a Pacific Youth Parliament to follow up our one. So in April this year, we had 98 Pacific young people, 80 from Christchurch, others from around the country, come and share what mattered to them. And just in my last few moments, I want to share with you one thing that they said. Nothing's changed from when I was a kid. To them, it was exactly the same. They still feel like belongingness is the number one most important thing, that they want to feel like they belong. And things like the Auckland University European Students Association comments, which are misinformed and really only build more against belonging and disconnection, need to be called out. That's what they asked for. So I think for them, for those people who are there, I've been where you've been. I've been disconnected myself. Our power structures and how our system works mean that people are disempowered and need extra supports to be part of our system. So that's what PYLAT tries to do, disrupt it, to build connection. And in doing all of that and learning about my identity, I now have the strongest relationship with my dad I've ever had. Him and I studied together at the university. It's not often, you're in the same year group as your 50-year-old dad. But, we're so much closer, and it's actually meant our whole family's closer. It's also been a big part, as I've said, of our team getting through the earthquakes, and then also seeing our city change to reflect Pacific values or get along that process. So this is what I want to leave you with. This is the challenge I hope you take away from Festival. I'd love to see you destroy disconnection and build belongingness, whatever that looks like for you. Aloha fatu whakatau te lava.